by dialing 832-551-5045 or 213-493-0133 in the USA. If you're in the UK, you can dial 020-3519-0145 and in Germany 051-180-904044. Our email address is bothsides106 at live.com, and you can join us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, or link us up on Skype. We look forward to receiving your instant messages on MSN or Yahoo and your text messages on 365-3346. Remember, we have two ears and one mouth, so we can listen twice as much as we speak. So stay with us as we listen to both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106.
He who knows not and knows not that he knows not is a fool. Avoid him. He who knows not and knows that he knows not is a student. Teach him. He who knows and knows not that he knows is asleep. Wake him. He who knows and knows that he knows is a wise man. Follow him.
Both sides of the story.
The righteous teaches many, but fools die for want of wisdom. The rich man's wealth is in the city. Fixation of the soul is vanity. Destruction of the poor is their poverty. The poor man's wealth is in a holy place. Why do you fight each other? Why do you kill your brother? Then your reward will be the same tree. Your reward will be in the cemetery. We got to be a better nation. Clean up Jah creation. Or there will be no future for you and me. The lips of the righteous, it teaches many, but fools die for want of wisdom. The rich man's wealth is in the city. Fixation of the soul is vanity. Destruction of poor people is poverty. The poor man's wealth is in a holy place.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106.
righteous teaches many, but fools die for want of wisdom. The rich man's wealth is in the city. Fixation of the soul is vanity. Destruction of the poor is their poverty. The poor man's wealth is in a holy, holy place. Why do you fight each other? Why do you kill your brother? Then your reward will be the cemetery. Your reward will be in the cemetery.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:15.
I save because one day my little business is going to be a big deal.
Yeah, and I make sure to put away a little something for my son. Better safe than sorry.
And thanks to JDIC, deposit insurance protection on my savings gone up.
You've been upgraded. Deposits held in commercial banks, building societies, and merchant banks are covered under the JDIC Deposit Insurance Scheme up to $1.2 million per depositor per institution.
The JDIC is big protection for every little thing that matters to me.
Now that's name real upgrade.
JDIC, protecting deposits for you and me.
Who says an excellent medical education has to be expensive?
The Caribbean School of Medical Sciences Jamaica offers quality medical training through our affordable pre-med and MD programs. Our aim is to develop a quality workforce of professionals. We offer excellent facilities, experienced lecturers, and hands-on learning. Plus, scholarships are now available. Secure the career of your dreams by applying today. Visit our office on 15 Braemar Avenue, Kingston 10, or send us an email at info@csmsj.edu.jm.
Under the Law is now in its 48th year and still helping you to know your rights and how the laws of Jamaica can help you defend those rights. The program is brought to you on Mondays by the Bank of Jamaica, building an inclusive economy. Under the Law at 6:45 and 8:45 a.m. and at 4 and 9:25 p.m. Mondays on Power 106 FM.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106.
Turning and turning in the widening jar. The falcon cannot hear the falconer. Things fall apart. The center cannot hold. Mere anarchy is loosed upon the world. The blood-dimmed tide is loosed, and everywhere the ceremony of innocence is drowned. The best lack all conviction, while the worst are full of passionate intensity.
Turning and turning within the widening gyre, the falcon cannot hear the falconer. Things fall apart, the center cannot hold, and a blood-dim tide is loosed upon the world. Nothing is sacred, the ceremony sings. Innocence is drowned in anarchy. The best lack conviction, given some time to think. And the worst are full of passion without mercy. Surely some revelation is at hand. Surely it's a second coming and the wrath has finally taken form. For what is this rough beast? Its hour come at last. Surging towards Bethlehem to be born. Surging towards Bethlehem to be born. To be born. Hoping and hoping, as if by my weak faith, the spirit of this world would heal and rise. Vast are the shadows that straddle and strafe and struggle in the darkness, troubling my eyes. Shaped like a lion, it has the head of a man, with a gaze as blank and pitiless as the sun, and it's moving its slow thighs across the desert sands. Too dark, indignant, reeling falcons. Surely some revelation is at hand. Surely it's a second coming and the wrath has finally taken form. For what is this rough beast? It's our come at last. Surging towards Bethlehem to be born. Surging towards Bethlehem to be born. To be born. Raging and raging, it rises from the deep, opening its eyes after 20 centuries. Lex to a nightmare. Out of a stormy sea, by a rocking cradle by the Sea of Galilee. Surely some revelation is at hand. Surely it's a second coming and the wrath has finally taken form. For what is this broad beast? It's our come at last. Sludge towards Bethlehem to be born. Sludge towards Bethlehem to be born. To be born.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106.
Those who seek to lead but fail to manage will become either irrelevant or dangerous, not only to their organization, but to society. For free society to function, we must have high-performing, self-governed institutions in every sector, not just in business, but equally in the social sectors. Without that, the only workable alternative is totalitarian tyranny.
Loosed upon the world. Nothing is sacred. The ceremony sings. Innocence is drowned in anarchy. The best black conviction, given some time to think. And the worst are full of passion without mercy.
Leadership is not position, it's moral authority. Moral authority comes from following universal and timeless principles like honesty, integrity, and treating people with respect.
Come at last, surging towards Bethlehem to be born. Surging towards Bethlehem to be born.
A nation's well-being, as well as its ability to compete, is conditioned by a single pervasive cultural characteristic: the level of trust inherent in the society. The level of trust enjoyed is not necessarily on the basis of explicit rules and regulations, but out of a set of ethical habits and reciprocal moral obligations internalized by each of the community's members.
It's struggle and strife and struggle in the darkness, troubling my eyes. shaped like a lion. It has the head of a man, with a gaze as blank and pitiless as the sun.
To survive and succeed, every organization will have to turn itself into a change agent. The most effective way to manage change successfully is to create it. Grafting innovation into a traditional enterprise does not work.
Surely it's a second coming and the wrath has finally taken form. For what is this rough beast? It's all upon at last. Sludging towards Bethlehem to be born. Sludging towards Bethlehem to be born. Oh, to be born. Raging and raging, it rises from the deep, opening its eyes after 20 centuries, vexed to a nightmare out of a stormy sleep, by a rocking cradle by the Sea of Galilee. Surely some revelation is at hand. Surely it's a second coming and the wrath has finally taken form. For what is this rough beast? It's our come at last.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:30. Jamaica is blessed with adequate water supply. Let us do our part in protecting this precious resource and enhance the productivity of our farmers. Let's grow what we eat and eat what we grow, as what we do today will impact our lives tomorrow. A message from the National Irrigation Commission Limited. Irrigation, making the difference in agriculture.
Oh yeah, this pasta made in Jamaica. Porridge, oatmeal, cornmeal with banana.
Yo, proud of we culture, yes, we love pasta. Only for protein, good source of fiber.
Love my family, yeah. Me love my pasta. I feel we pasta, I feel we pasta. I love we pasta. I feel we faster.
We have to prosper, we don't want faster. Good for the sugar level and the blood pressure.
In Jamaica, we love with faster.
Introducing another finalist in the Jamaica Festival Song 2021 competition.
Hello, this is Camila Candy Isaacs, and my festival song is titled Birthday Bash JA.
Our country standing tall, with our hearts and hands as one. Make we sing this your song. Happy birthday, Jamaica, land of sea and sun. Early 6th of August, 1962, there came out of the waters an island fresh and blue. The Caribbean asked her, what's her
Now available for download on most digital platforms.
Jamaica is my name. So
Living in the positive.
Power Talk has been a unique source of discourse on matters of public interest, finding solutions to the challenges we face in a globalized world. And starting Monday, July 19, Power Talk brings you the duo that will take talk radio to another level. Join Dr. Herbert Gale and Simon Crosskill weekdays 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. as they provide riveting analysis on the issues of the day and speak with stakeholders charged with driving innovation to move Jamaica forward. Tune in for for brand new features designed to showcase local developments and highlight how the global issues of the 21st century are being addressed. That's the powerful duo, Dr. Herbert Gale and Simon Crosskill, on Power Talk, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. weekdays starting Monday, July 19, right here on Power 106 FM.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106.
Good decision makers don't make many decisions. They make decisions that make a difference. And they know when a decision is necessary. Then they don't procrastinate. Good decision makers know that the most important and most difficult part of decision making is not making the decision. That's often quite easy. The most difficult and most important part is to make sure that the decision is about the right problem. Few things can do as much damage as right decisions to wrong problems.
Turning and turning within the widening gyre, the falcon cannot hear the falconer. Things fall apart, the center cannot hold, and a blood-dim tide is loosed upon the world. Nothing is sacred. The ceremony sings. Innocence is drowned in anarchy. The best lack conviction. Given some time to think. And the worst are full of passion without mercy. Surely some revelation is at hand. Surely it's a second coming.
Good decision makers know how to define the problem. They ask, what does the decision have to do to be appropriate to the problem? Good decision makers don't even think about what is acceptable to whom and what compromises have to be made until they have thought through what the right decision is. But good decision makers know that, in all likelihood, they will have to make compromises in the end. And they know the difference between the right compromise and the wrong compromise.
Hoping and hoping, as if by my weak faith, the spirit of this world would heal and rise. Vast are the shadows that straddle and strafe and struggle in the darkness, troubling my eyes. Shaped like a lion, it has the head of a man, with a gaze as blank and pitiless as the sun.
Good decision makers know that they haven't finished making a decision until they build its implementation and effectiveness into it. Until then, it's not a decision. It's only a good idea. They also know that a decision is a commitment to action, and almost always it's action to be taken by other people. Hence, as most good decision makers have learned the hard way, the actions required must fit the capacities, the understanding, the knowledge, the values, and the language of the people who will have to do the action.
To be born. Raging and raging, it rises from the deep, opening its eyes after 20 centuries.
Above all, good decision makers know that decision making has its own process and its own clearly defined elements and steps. Every decision is risky. It is a commitment of present resources to an uncertain and unknown future. Ignore a single element in the process, and the decision will tumble down like a badly built wall in an earthquake. But if the process is faithfully observed, and if the necessary steps are taken, the risk will be minimized, and the decision will have a good chance of turning out to be successful.
To be born.
Breathes there the man with soul so dead, who never to himself hath said, "This is my own, my native land," whose heart hath ne'er within him burned, as home his footsteps he hath turned, from wandering on a foreign strand. If such there breathe, go, mark him well, for him no minstrel raptures swell. High though his titles, proud his name, boundless his wealth as wish can claim. Despite those titles, power, and pelf, the wretch consented all in self. Living shall forfeit fair renown, and doubly dying shall go down to the vile dust from whence he sprung, unwept, unhonored, and unsung.
The center cannot hold, and a blood-dim tide is loosed upon the world. Nothing is sacred. The ceremony sings. Innocence is drowned in anarchy. The best lack conviction. Given some time to think. And the worst are full of passion without mercy. Surely some revelation Surely it's a second coming and the wrath has finally taken form. For what is this rough beast? Its hour come at last. Surging towards Bethlehem to be born. Surging towards Bethlehem to be born. To be born. Hoping and hoping, as if by my weak faith, the spirit of this world would heal and rise. Vast are the shadows that straddle and strafe and struggle in the darkness, troubling my eyes. Shaped like a lion, it has the head of a man, with a gaze as blank and pitiless as the sun. And it's moving its slow thighs across the desert sands, too dark, indignant, reeling falcons. Surely some revelation is a thing. Surely it's a second coming and the wrath has finally taken form. For what is this rough beast? It's our come at last. Surging towards Bethlehem to be born. Surging towards Bethlehem to be born.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:45.
Who says an excellent medical education has to be expensive?
The Caribbean School of Medical Sciences Jamaica offers quality medical training through our affordable pre-med and MD programs. Our aim is to develop a quality workforce of professionals. We offer excellent facilities, experienced lecturers, and hands-on learning. Plus, scholarships are now available. Secure the career of your dreams by applying today. Visit our office on 15 Braemar Avenue, Kingston 10, or send us an email at info@csmsj.edu.jm.
Introducing another finalist in the Jamaica Festival Song 2021 competition.
Woo! Hi, this is Tamoji, and the title of my festival song is Real Talk.
876 of my area code. Would I never let us someone feel at home? Believe a foreign and freezing at the cold. Let me pretty sun and gone go shovel snow. Oh no, I know so the thing go. When me drop a England it's £1,000,000. Then me come back a straight jam down. Let me touch road and turn it up low. I real talk, real talk, real talk. No we're no better than yard.
Now available for download on most digital platforms.
Bad. Real talk, real talk, real talk. No we're no better.
To be born.
2021 to 2030 is the International Decade of Healthy Aging, the International Decade of Ecosystem Restoration, the International Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development, and the Decade of Action for Road Safety. It's the 16th day of the 7th month of 2021, the International Year of Peace and Trust, the International Year of Creative Economy for Sustainable Development, the International Year of Fruits and Vegetables, the International Year for the Elimination of Child Labor, and the International Year of Health and Care Workers. Put another way, it's the 16th day of the second month of the 2021 Atlantic hurricane season. And according to the weather report, there's a tropical wave approaching the central Caribbean, a trough across Panama, and a high-pressure ridge across the Gulf of Mexico. Closer to home, there's a trough across Jamaica. The trough is expected to remain across the island over the next few days. This afternoon will become cloudy with showers mainly across sections of central and western parishes, with isolated thunderstorms across hilly inland areas. Tonight will be partly cloudy. La Paz local festival is on in Bolivia. Es Lunes del Cerro en Mexico y Virgen del Carmen en Peru. It's World Snake Day. Hoy es viernes el 16 de julio 2021. Y les saludamos en cualquier parte del mundo que nos están escuchando en este momento. Estamos muy agradecidos por el don de la vida y el privilegio de servirles en otra edición de su programa Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia. Nunca vamos a tomar su audiencia por sentado porque sabemos que ustedes tienen otras opciones. Y esta es la razón por la cual jamás olvidamos darle las gracias por elegir Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia, de lunes a viernes, desde las 2 hasta las 5 de la tarde, aquí en Power 106 FM. La misión continúa para educar, capacitar, iluminar y estimular el espíritu empresarial. Bienvenidos. C'est vendredi le 16 juillet 2021. Et nous vous saluons tous qui nous écoutent où que vous soyez dans le monde. Nous sommes reconnaissants du don de la vie ainsi que du privilège d'être à votre service pour une nouvelle édition de votre programme Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre. Nous ne considérons pas votre fidélité comme l'un de soi parce que nous savons que vous avez l'embarras du choix. C'est pourquoi nous n'oublions jamais de vous remercier de choisir d'écouter Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre, du lundi au vendredi de 13h à 5h de l'après-midi sur notre antenne Power 106 FM. Nous continuons notre mission d'éduquer, d'habiliter, d'éclairer et d'encourager l'esprit d'entreprise. Bienvenue. All we're saying is it's Friday, the 16th of July, 2021, and we greet you well, wherever in the world you are listening to us right now. We remain eternally grateful for the gift of life and the privilege to serve you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story. We don't ever take your listenership for granted because we know you have choices. And that's why we never ever forget to remember to say thanks for choosing to listen to Both Sides of the Story, Monday to Friday, 2 to 5, right here on Power 106 FM. The mission continues to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. Welcome. We started out this afternoon with the Persian apothem. Persian, Persian. That's a geographic designation, cultural designation as well. The Persian apothem, Apothem, Persian apothem. And an apothem is a wise saying or a gem or some other thought that is packaged in such a way that it has a particular ring to it, a particular flavor, You get the picture, as in the one we shared this afternoon. He who knows not and knows not that he knows not is a fool. Avoid him. He who knows not and knows that he knows not is a student. Teach him. He who knows and knows that he knows is asleep. In fact, he who knows and knows not that he knows is asleep. Wake him. And he who knows and knows that he knows is a wise man. Follow him. That's a Persian apothegm. That's how we started this afternoon. And from there we went to Fools Die by Peter Tosh, followed by The Second Coming, at least the first stanza of The Second Coming by William Butler Yeats, Y-E-A-T-S, William Butler Yeats. And then we shared with you a combination of quotations from some outstanding leaders and outstanding thought leaders. Jim Collins, Peter Drucker. Jim Collins and Peter Drucker on those who seek to lead but fail to manage, becoming either irrelevant or dangerous, not only to their organization but to society. Stephen Covey on leadership. Leadership is not position, it is moral authority. Moral authority comes from following universal and timeless principles like honesty, integrity, and treating people with respect. We also shared the words of wisdom from Francis Fukuyama, F-U-K-U-Y-A-M-A, F-U-K-U-Y-A-M-A. Francis Fukuyama, who wrote on trust, the social virtues, and the creation of prosperity. He wrote, a nation's well-being as well as its ability to compete is conditioned by a single pervasive cultural characteristic, the level of trust inherent in the society. The level of trust enjoyed is not necessarily on the basis of explicit rules and regulations, but out of a set of ethical habits and reciprocal moral obligations internalized by each of the community's members. We also shared Peter Drucker's thoughts on change. He says, to survive and succeed, every organization will have to turn itself into a change agent. The most effective way to manage change successfully is to create it. Grafting innovation into a traditional enterprise does not work. And then the piece on decision making by Peter Drucker. That's the essence of, well, that was the essence of the quotations there. And then we closed it out with The Lay of the Last Minstrel by Sir Walter Scott. The Lay of the Last Minstrel by Sir Walter Scott. Good afternoon to those of you listening to us on 106.1, 106.3, 106.5, 106.7, and 106.9. From Moran Point to Negril Point, from the Goat Islands to Galena Point. This is Power 106 FM, serving Jamaica and the diaspora. Hello to those tuned in via the Power 106 FM app, which you would have downloaded from the App Store or the Google Play Store, depending on the nature of your device. Downloading is free, listening is free, whenever, wherever. We thank you if you have logged on to the Gleaner's website, go-jamaica.com. Subscribers to onespotmedia.com also have access to both sides of the story in particular and Power 106 FM in general. We welcome those who have dialed a designated number to listen to Power 106 FM from the United States and the United Kingdom. If you're in the United States and you wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM, you can call 631-359-8281. 631-359-8281. Those in the United Kingdom who wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM can dial 0330-606-0953, 0330-606-0953. And we're all over social media: Facebook, Twitter, Skype, Instagram, LinkedIn, BBM, Yahoo Messenger, Tango, WhatsApp, Snapchat. In fact, we're streaming live video on the Dervan Malcolm Facebook page and affiliated pages. If you're not there yet, log on to Facebook. In the search box atop the page, type DERVAN MALCOLM, and you'll be able to not just hear, but see what's happening in the studios of Power 106 FM. If you don't have a Facebook account, no sweat. There's always YouTube. Go to the YouTube website. If you do that now, you should see this video trending. If you're not seeing it, then you can click on the YouTube search box, type DERVAN MALCOLM, and you'll be able to watch both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. We look forward to your full participation. After all, it is your program, Both Sides of the Story, here on Power 106 FM. The numbers to call: 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, 876-922-4114, and 876-922-4115. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can also call us via WhatsApp or dial the number straight. Here's the number: 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. There's more after the break.
Surely it's a second coming and the wrath has finally taken form. For what is this broad beast? It's our come at last. Slowly toward Bethlehem to be born. Slowly toward Bethlehem to be born.
The Time by Medical Disposables and Supplies Limited, an official distributor of 3M Healthcare Solutions, 83 Hagley Park Road, Kingston 10, is 3 p.m. You asked, we listened. You said you wanted back the additional hour. Dear Pastor returns to its usual time from 10 p.m. until midnight.
Oh boy, you know.
Your thoughts on topical issues, relationship matters, questions you want answered, pertinent advice, it all comes together on Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron Dumas.
Hello.
Hello, Pastor.
Yes.
Can I ask you a question?
Well, you may ask me a question, I may or may not answer.
He returns to keep your company from 10 p.m. until midnight, right here on Power 106 FM.
Turning and turning within the widening gyre. The falcon cannot hear, the falconer. Things fall apart. The center cannot hold.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Hello to Ricardo in Glengough, St. Catherine, who's greeting everybody as usual. Junior Jabari, good afternoon. Junior was asking about the opening words That was the Persian apothegm which we shared. He who knows not and knows not that he knows not is a fool. Avoid him. He who knows not and knows that he knows not is a student. Teach him. He who knows and knows not that he knows is asleep. Wake him. He who knows and knows that he knows is a wise man. Follow him. Thank you very much, Junior Jabari. Big up, says Ricardo, and thank God for life. Happy Sabbath to all Sabbath keepers listening when it comes, he says. A very reflective selection, he concludes. That's Junior Jabari. Jessica says, Hola, buenas tardes. I'm very happy to be here as usual. Blessings to you. To you too, Jessica. Oliver Masters says, greetings to you and most callers. Beloved, can Mr. Carver call in sometime to clear up if he and Mr. Balance are one and the same person within? Will be on the listening side as usual, says Oliver Masters. Chantal da Costa, good afternoon. She says, good day, Mr. Malcolm. Just like to say it's a cloudy day where I am, but happy to join your program. Welcome, Chantal da Costa. We hope to put a little sunshine in your cloudy day. Gary Robinson, hello to you. How are you? Cherry Henry, good afternoon. Dr. Sharon Wiles says, hello, Sir Dervan. Very sad news. Now 5 died, including the boat captain who died in the rescue boat. I have a lot of updates. We'll check in with you, Dr. Sharon Wiles. Condolences to the family, friends, colleagues, neighbors, well-wishers of those 5 who died. Jennifer Stewart from Kew Road in Kencott, East Central, St. Andrew. Good afternoon to you. Junior Jabari says, when you think on certain things, the song is a very touching one, Dervan. I want better for the world. Cherry Henry says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan and listeners. Please have a safe weekend, everyone. Thank you. Sharon Wiles is in tears. She says, I know one of the family members, so this really hits home. Condolences, Dr. Sharon Wiles. Charlene Kelly says, powerful song. Good day, Mr. Malcolm. Continue to educate, inform, and educate. Sophia Nemard says, good afternoon. Please help me congratulate my wash belly, honey bunny, sugar plum on her first choice to Hampton School. Well, congratulations to your honey bunny, your sugar plum, your daughter, who will be going to Hampton School. Congratulations, Sophia Nemard. Quincy Brown in Grand Cayman says, good afternoon, listeners on Grand Cayman, Cayman Brack and Little Cayman. He says, hi there, Mr. Dervan Malcolm. Good afternoon to Dr. Monica Lawrence. I need to talk with Dr. Lawrence, Quincy Brown. I think I do have her details. Need to have a word with her. Need to have a word with Dr. Lawrence because, yeah, we do have the number. Hope it's still the same. Although this looks like a Jamaica number. And we know that she straddles both Cayman and Jamaica. But we'll come back to that. But thank you very much. He says, and congratulations to Faye Ellington on her honorary degree. Enough respect. Indeed, we join you in conveying congratulations to Faye Audrey Ellington on her honorary degree to be accorded by, I believe it's Northern Caribbean University, NCU. Well done, Auntie Faye. All the very best. And no doubt Miss May is applauding you as well, your mom. Mitzi says, good day, Mr. Malcolm. I'm tuned in to be encouraged and motivated. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you all so much for the multiple messages. Let's go to the phone lines. 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, 876-922-4114, and 876-922-4115. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Blessed.
Good afternoon.
Oh, give thanks. It's my turn?
Yes, you're on.
Okay, thanks for taking my call, my lord. Why you put on your professor hat? I have 2 words for you. I love you give me your interpretation of these 2 words. First one is likeness.
Likeness.
Yes. Like in likeness and image.
Yes, I am familiar with the word.
I know you are.
Yes. Well, it speaks to resemblance or being alike.
Mm-hmm. An image?
Image. Well, they say image is everything. Image now is a representation of the external form of a person or a thing, in art, for example.
Like tangible and intangible.
Yeah. Tangible in terms of the representation itself.
Yes.
Yes. Intangible in terms of it would go back to resemblance from the.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I just started that because in the Bible, the prophecy, it tells that God make us in His own likeness and image,
Yeah.
So that means, and because of the fact that we are the first people undisputed on the earth, then God black. Anyway, because
well, he would. I can't speak for God, but God would perhaps say, "I am what I am."
There you go. Because still to defend Mrs. Mervis, because Miss Mervis say, I am on her side because of the fact that she's on my side, by all she reasons.
Yes.
Understand?
I'm sure she'll be happy to hear that.
Yeah, man, she right, Virgin, because you see, them teach you, say Christ, if you read the first epistle of John, chapter 4, I don't know if you can find it, 1 to 5, it shows you plain. Say, Miss Mervis, right, you understand? God is an internal Christ, you understand? Greatest Christ are the one where in you. And even the passage shows say when Christ himself say, anywhere you see one of these little children, him Christ to see. So why when they grow big, the man of Christ, see how here? You understand? And why I love Miss Mervis, you know, she want Bobo, you know, she doesn't know yet. You see, it was the Europeans who you're a wordsmith. It was the Europeans who started spell the word WOMAN, you know, Honorable Virgin. Yeah. Some of them would have loved you to spell it WOEMAN. Oh, you understand? But the original word was WOMBMAN.
In reference of that reproductive.
Yeah. So when them said it was she, that the woman, it was she who said, "Let us make man," that man, the woman, and Miss Bird is a very epitome of that way, that the woman. You understand? How she reason. So I agree with her, Miss Mervis. Big up yourself. And one day, but I love invite you come to church. And you carry a Bible in book. We use the same sacred songs and solo, the same redemption songs, and the same thank you.
We'll be happy to share. Well, I don't think we have. Do we have our number in the system? I'm not sure, but we'll be happy.
Now a challenge for you, but this first.
Go ahead.
An invitation challenge, but this first.
Mm-hmm.
Me understand when you speak of us here on this island, or we special. Me understand you for real. First thing we tell about when my brother-in-law oil company in New York and keep us say, right? Yeah. One day I deliver oil and there's this controversy. You can Google it, or anyone listening can Google it. She named Bev Smith. She was in New York. She controversial, like what you say, Bev Smith.
Oh.
BEVSMITH.
Mm-hmm.
She kind of look like Miss Kitty with dreaded and same. Anyway, I was delivering oil and she came on the radio and said, WBLS, you know that popular New York station. She said she went to Palestine, and if you want to see something that blew her mind, she said she love all black conscious people to come see, because she took pictures and videos of it. Come see what she saw that blew.
Hello? Uh-oh. Sorry about that. Not sure what happened there. A disconnection of sorts. Is he still there? Hello? Are you there? Hello?
Yes.
Yes. Lost you for a moment there.
Oh, pardon. Let me try. Anyway, the McCall Brother asked him to just take the few deliveries that I had for the night so I could just go see what is there that blew her mind. You know what blew her mind, Honorable Virgin?
What was that?
When she went to Palestine, the other fellow, because she gone back to Chicago, you know, other fellow journalist, I love it, contact her still. She took some pictures and showed us that I was just smiling inside in the place because what she showed us was some picture of the black Palestinians. And they were telling us that them people are Arafat and Assad and all, do fraud them don't belong to Africa. You understand? But they refuse to put the camera on them, the black Palestinians, to tell them that them are the indigenous and owners of Palestine. But here's the thing that blew her mind now. There were priests among the black Palestinians. Oh, you know a priest now. Every priest had a garden, a flowers garden on his roof. Yeah, you know that a priest lived there. And every one of them, bar none, had a picture of on their wall. That blew her mind. That made us laugh and come out and go over my yard. You understand? The next thing again now, while I was in Ghana, you have a place in Ghana where them call themselves the Jamaica Ghana. You see them youth now? Them have on Kangal hat, them have on them full suit of khaki, them have on them Clark's booty, and them red, gold, and green. You know which part them want to go Dervan?
Where?
Not Jamaica. All right. The last one now, Honorable Virgin.
Yeah.
Dear, you must have read it because I was in Montego Bay. I sell juices. Anyway, I was reading a Sunday paper of this black policewoman, dreadlocks policewoman. Because when she came back, I think she went back to Denham Town police station. But I was there reading. She was working for the UN they wanted her to as a mediator between the government. I think it was Darfur and the rebel leader. So she went there to Darfur and she reasoned with the government, the people at government. And when she finished now, she said to them, so, well, okay, that's what reason with the Virgin. They must say, you're mad, he will kill you. She said, no, then how am I going to mediate if I'm going to reason with him?
Hold on. Pick up the story after the break, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:15.
You asked, we listened. You said you wanted back the additional hour. Dear Pastor returns to its usual time from 10 p.m. until midnight.
Oh boy, you know.
Your thoughts on topical issues, relationship matters, questions you want answered, pertinent advice. It all comes together on Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron Dumas.
Hello.
Hello, Pastor.
Yes.
Can I ask you a question?
Well, you may ask me a question. I may or may not answer.
He returns to keep your company from 10 p.m. until midnight, right here on Power 106 FM.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm, taking your calls on 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, 876-922-4114, and 876-922-4115. To the story of the black policewoman and something about
Yes.
Darfur.
Yeah, I don't remember her name. But after she finished reasoning with the government, then she said, well, then now she has to go reason with the rebel leader. They must tell them say they won't sanction it because he will kill her because she had to drive the United Nations vehicle. Understand? Well, she said them, say, well, okay, I'll go by myself. There were like 3 black black Americans there with her. And when they saw her bravery, them decided to them go with her. To make a long story short, when she reached near the rebel camp, about 300 Muslim youth surround them, all of them with AK or M16 like man, and I shout at her and I like them a bully her. And then she said, well, all of a sudden the place got quiet and the crowd parted. And when she looked now, this tall black man in a full white, and she said, well, this must be him. Him also had a M16 man. And she said, him come. You can't read it, Dervan, because your man will love going to the archives. She said to him, he said, shouted at her and said, where are you from? Where are you from? And she said, she talked like she talked under her breath and said, Jamaica. And she said, man, all of him and leader. And everybody got quiet. And said, him asked her again. He said, where you say you come from? And she said, she like she feel the vibes, and she does. She come brave and said, Jamaica. She said, when she said that, all of them put on them gun on the ground and just kneel down to her. And I tell her, I say, look how long we big brother them out in Jamaica and left them little brother there and fight the fight. And we over there live in a big house and a big car and now come help them fight back to Africa. But I saw them do it, Dervan, because, all right, I tell you already, I am an Excelsior graduate, and one of my 5 subjects in our GCE is biology. I'm in Ghana, Dervan, and we were at a 7-bedroom house in a called Keshin, and here you call the word is not twee. They pronounce it tree. It's not twee. It's tree. They pronounce it. Mm-hmm. Anyway, it was England that colonized Ghana, so it's the same school curriculum as Jamaica. She was doing now her name was Arama, means such a band on a Saturday. Her father had a restaurant next door to our where we live. And one day, them about 15 of them come all excited down at the back. And they were discussing a subject with them do, them the year-end subject. I'm a call around and I say, come here. And I say, what subject is that? And she say, biology. So I say, you have an empty one? She said, yeah. So I said, bring one, come to me. When she brought it and I did it, and when she said me get over 90, about 95, 97, she said, how come? So I said, oh, you mean how come? She said, the white people tell them, say, the Rasta man go come to Africa, but when you come to Africa, no say nothing to him for him, no know nothing, him big and done. All him do is live on a hill, bun ganja, beat jump, and ball out, yeah, Rastafari. Him no know nothing, but Dervan is for real. We talk about we are a special people, Virgin. And the whole planet after Dervan, and just Africa and the whole this planet belongs to us. This is why we are or we are, Dervan. Nobody know. It's a level of energy that him have or she have. Yes. If that the person that decides to good,
if that energy is properly channeled, yes, if the energy is properly channeled.
Yeah, the anyone good like them either. But there's no incentive and there's no motivation, there's no nothing. Yeah, son. So do you know? Because most of us in Dervan, I want to tell you this story. I always want to tell you. You see, you being black and virgin, the majority of your family, your kinfolk, your bloodline is still in Africa. Remember that. Anyway, the invitation now. Next Friday is the Earth Strong of our illustrious king. May I invite you and challenge you also. Bring your program, come on the hill from 2 till 6. Because me, not the bridging, will call you and irritate you more while. None of us.
Irritate? No, man. Why would you use that word?
You know, irritate you.
No,
anyway,
sir.
would I love you bring your program because listen, me and him cannot show you of the salvation order individually. Would I love you come see the 7 priests on the altar, the man them play the music and put the mic so that the people them can hear. You understand? What is it that we are trying to bring back the people them to? Because as salvation are the problem of people them lacking at the black salvation of themselves, them they don't remember and them thing Miss Mervis I try to show them say, you understand? I'm listening to her all while and we said that actually about going. But I love if you bring your program, I invite you for the ear, challenge you for the ear, and then you could have picked up Miss Mervis and bring her up.
I'll have to tell you, I'm not inclined to going to too many places in this time of COVID-19.
Yeah, this is just one menu that I would.
We'll see.
Yeah, but
We'll see. But
yeah.
it's not as easy as it appears, though.
Okay. But
if
I
the old Power 106 perhaps would have been a different situation, because
okay.
we could
Because-
almost get up and go at the drop of a hat.
Because we
But
know
we're-
how you feel now, we love you, or your rest, we love you bad because no well good. Because listen, you're a fine example of a black man in the earth.
You're very kind.
So we love that. You understand? And I say we that just love say you start to really looking at your black self because you're brilliant in the youth, but you want to know something more about yourself, and then you even shine even greater. You understand?
I read you loud and clear.
Yeah, so I don't then look at why more I look at, and sometimes I'm on my, you understand? But anyway, we give thanks for what you say, but we just want to know, say, Dervan, it's not the island, it's the people and the island. Dervan, when we used to live on, we sell ice cream 20 years in a Brooklyn, in a Brooklox, in a Reading. You understand? And in a the great Bed-Stuy, and only because I'm born at Jamaica, them time the Brooklyn Bed-Stuy come like a Trenchtown or Tivoli at them time. That time I not the building them, the vibes, what they so. And only because I'm born at Jamaica, why I could get through the sign of Reading, why I not get robbed.
Yeah, I've heard tons of stories from people visiting countries where they came close to death, and they all they had to say was Jamaica.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, everything.
All
was
right,
fine.
one last thing before I go, my lord. We said there's a time on the Eastern Parkway where we have a parade, right? I remember one time Hillary Clinton was there walking on Eastern Parkway. Anyway, me and my nephew in my truck, you have reached down there from like 4 o'clock. If you forget, because you want at the end of the parade, you know, and don't at the bottom, the start, and you want at the end, that when the parade done, your truck is right there, and everybody thirsty and hungry. Understand? I'm sit down, I was the driver, me and my nephew I sell ice cream in Dervan. I'm sit down and I watch some yard man, for you know yard man, you know, not hear them, you know, him name not talk, you know yard man. I'm sit down, I go up on the Italian, them truck. I come up the line, and I say, Rasta God, I rob them, you can rob the ice cream truck, you know. You see when him come up on my truck, I say, I want to go and Virgin. The leader said, come, I want yard man, love him. And them come back half on the truck, you know, and there was a burly, but in about 6'5" policeman, white, our Caucasian policeman, like him Siwago, and him come over to my truck and with them in there. And you know, so them just corral him and surround him and take him, going and say, hey boy, go. And you know, so him have to take him lightning.
Oh, I don't think that's funny though.
You were there. It's funny.
But to disarm a man of the law, oh dear.
Yeah, Dervan,
I get the point you're making. I get the point you're making, but
yeah, but I'm saying though, the law, since you brought that up, natural law supersedes any man-made law, right? And them are telling us, say, when slavery and slave trade, it was lawful. And then make up them thing that, Dervan, how come you who did the unlawful act get to choose whether it be lawful or unlawful? How come? You understand?
Well, everything in its proper context. Whatever we think about the world, everything for us to properly understand why people did or do what they did or didn't do is important. The context is important. There was a time when certain things were regarded as bad, terrible, awful, despicable.
Like black.
And another time now when that is no more. And so it's an evolution. Some people refer to it as a revolution.
Yeah, but Honorable Virgin, the act that was done, remember, you know, England and England brought it to a science, you know, a business, you know, the slavery and slave trading. So all of the offices, them claiming to say, and never them ancestor. But you can't run from it. I mean, I am my ancestor.
So what do we do? Do we lynch them?
No. First of all, them should give us back our diamond mine, our gold mine in South Africa. First thing. Them should give us back our diamond mine and our gold mine so we can deal with our people.
Blood diamond?
No, come on. I said diamond, not blood. Blood diamond.
Well, that one is loaded. The diamond business, that's for another day.
Well, okay, all right. What did me just tell you say, understand when you speak of us? Just when you say all the to the whole human race, or was that quotation?
The national pledge.
Yeah.
I like to paraphrase it by saying to play our part.
Yeah.
In advancing the welfare of the whole human race.
Yeah, then took me I say from this island, to advance the welfare of the whole human race. Free up back the earth, brethren. The Almighty God never, when he created this earth, he never make nobody sell no food. He create everything free, brethren. All required was praises. How come man get land? How come man have land sell? And them can't make food. You can't make food. You can't do the sunlight that grow the food, or the earth where grow the food, or the water. How come you get a monopoly on it now that you have a sell to everybody, and everybody pack up in a one little place, and you want the pan sitting where nobody can see you in your.
Again, that's a function of history and context. When the British captured Jamaica on the was it the 5th of May, 1655, they rewarded their soldiers with land, large tracts of land here in Jamaica and elsewhere in the Caribbean, and these would have been handed down from generation to generation. And those that would have been abandoned one way or another are automatically regarded as
is not a
crown lands.
A thief in land, you pretty it up like say something right that they did. Man-made law cannot supersede natural Dervan.
Well, you go ahead and try to supersede the laws of the country and see what happens.
No, all right. One more thing before I leave.
We have to wrap now, though.
All right, yeah. Before you wrap, them teach people them say God live outside of themselves, but as Miss Murray I try to tell them say Christ live in.
Yes, man. You made that point earlier on.
Yeah, but any day God rise to judge in earth. I will rise in the ball of them.
All
and then they say, are we with Christ? Give us
rising in the bald heads, not the dreadlocks.
No.
All right. Let's pick that up another time. All the best.
You contribute directly to Jamaica's national development when you pay your customs duties. Let's all do our part in keeping the wheels of our economy turning. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is
3:30.
Sipa copper.
Sipa copper?
Yes, sipa copper.
Sipa copper what?
Sipa copper Ital Jamaican Moringa tea bags.
Sipa copper Moringa, turmeric, vervine, neem, and guinea hen wheat tea bags today. Sipa copper tea is available in supermarkets island-wide. So Sipa copper today. You'll be happy you did.
Distributed by Caramed Group Limited.
This world would heal and rise past other shadows. It's struggle and safe and struggle in the darkness, troubling my eyes. Shaped like a lion, it has the head of a man.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. We'll get back to more of your calls in a moment, but we crave your indulgence as we welcome our special guest at this time. She chairs the organization known as CVSS. That's the Council of Voluntary Social Services, but CVSS for short. For those who followed the RGR Gleaner Honor Awards recently, in the category of voluntary service, the Council of Voluntary Social Services, CVSS, was recognized by the RGR Gleaner Communications Group for its remarkable work in effectively coordinating and executing the private sector organization of Jamaica, PSOJ, COVID-19 Relief Fund. Surely, Safri Brown must be relieved to have gotten in all that work, and maybe she's on a beach somewhere right now. Let's find out. Safri Brown, good afternoon. How are you?
Hi, Dervan. I'm fine, thank you. And no, I'm in Kingston. I just finished a strat session, and now I'm in Devon House in the car.
Oh, you're going to have ice cream at the place, the fourth best place in the world to have ice cream, according to National Geographic some years ago.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful.
But it's good to talk with you. Congratulations on the recognition accorded CVSS. We know you don't set out to work for recognition, but when it comes, you graciously and gracefully accept.
Yes, and we were very honored to get the award. It was in partnership with the other key partners, so the PSOJ, the American Friends of Jamaica, and United Way of Jamaica. So we all share in this wonderful recognition.
And you know what they say, the reward for hard work is more work.
Much more hard work.
So your work is far from done.
Yes, far from, never done.
Yes.
No, it's never done. We just reboot and come again.
Yeah. So now for that particular initiative in coordinating and executing the private sector organization of Jamaica, PSOJ COVID-19 Relief Fund, has that been put to bed, or is it still very much up and running?
No, so the COVID fund, what we wanted to do was we wanted, in partnership with PSOJ, to create a really transparent, accountable fund. And so therefore we felt that it was necessary to have a very clear start date and a very clear end date. It was important that the fund was initially set up to provide immediate relief at the start of the COVID pandemic to people very negatively impacted by the COVID crisis. And we're talking about, when the COVID crisis hit in Jamaica, Dervan, if you remember, we just sort of, everything halted immediately. And what you found was there was a huge number of people that had no sort of financial resources to buy food, to buy groceries. People were frightened to come out of their houses, especially the elderly or people who had comorbidities. And so we really wanted to get relief directly to them. And it was in that vein that we set up the COVID fund, specifically to address the risk at the beginning, which was the risk to health and the risk to food security. And so, led by PSOJ, we were able to raise $200 million cash and in kind. We also got support from not just corporate, but from individuals. We got a lot of individual donations from the diaspora, which was wonderful. And as a result, we were able to mobilize very quickly an infrastructure in partnership with the Jamaica Defense Force and the Jamaica Constabulary Force to access, prepare, distribute, and deliver food packages to very sort of vulnerable groups. And again, this was a wonderful example of a kind of public-private social partnership. In that, we also partnered with Mona Geoinformatics, who helped us come up with a vulnerability ranking or risk profiling of communities in Jamaica, so we could actually go and directly target the most at risk or most vulnerable communities, so we could have really targeted interventions. And so we were able to do that in tandem with JCF and the JDF, who delivered and distributed, private sector who mobilized, civil society who provided relief efforts on the ground. We did a lot of work through NGOs. And so it really was a wonderful sort of group effort that resulted in this. So it's really anybody, the Gleaner Honor Award is really for anybody who donated, even if it was $10, if it was a company that donated, anybody that gave of their time, gave of their resources. This is an example of really what we can all achieve when we all come together.
And that same Gleaner is telling us today, as you would have heard or read or seen, that many of the neediest missed out on COVID welfare. Lack of documentation, informal sector cited as hurdles in Capri report. from where you sit and the quantum of work that was done, on what basis were distribution channels opened, and how successful were those channels, especially in getting through to rural communities? Because if we were to go by the Capri report, they're telling us, with all the relief efforts here and there, that the neediest still did not benefit.
Yeah. Well, so our approach, we sort of had two different approaches. One was through the vulnerability ranking that we did with MGI. And so, he ranked Paris Louai, Dr. Louai, he ranked all the communities from 1 to, 849, right? If we say there are 800 and something communities in Jamaica. And so we chose number 1 to 25, right? We didn't jump around. We didn't go number 72. Mm-hmm. It was just 1 to 25 is where we went in with regards to community support.
What does that look like? Or what did that look like in terms, when you say 1 to 24, are we looking at Kingston, St. Andrews, St. Catherine?
Yeah, you're looking at a few communities in Kingston and St. Andrew. You're looking at St. Catherine. You're looking at Clarendon. You're looking at Westmoreland. You're looking at St. James. You're looking at St. Anne.
But that sounds quite representative already.
Yes, it is. And I can send you a full report. So what we've done is we've done a full report that talks about the model, that explains the model. What we wanted to do is, because we understood that it was really a critical time. And again, you have to recognize the sacrifice of people and companies at a time when, you really didn't know what was coming next in terms of people's economics, people's business.
And we didn't, worse yet, we didn't know enough. We didn't know enough about COVID-19 back then.
We didn't know.
Yes.
We didn't know. So every donation was really a sacrifice. And what we wanted to do was respect and honor those sacrifices by being really above board with the model, with how selection was done. We wanted to be fair, open, transparent, and equitable. So there was that system. And then within that system of those 25 communities, based on what the financial model could do, we aim to hit about 38% of the population living under the poverty line to get the packages. That's what we could do if we were going to get into 25 communities. So we worked with the Ministry of Local Government, Ministry of Labor, we worked with the JCF, we worked with local NGO partners to identify the most at risk, because the knowledge is really there on the ground. And so we used a number of those factors to develop the beneficiaries. And under the program, once you became a beneficiary, you got the food package every 2 weeks for up to 3 months. So
I didn't realize it was that consistent. I thought it was maybe one off here, one off there.
No, you got support for 3 months. Because again, it was supposed to provide the stopgap. It wasn't just supposed to be a one-off. It was supposed to provide the stopgap until the economy started to move a little bit and you could get back on your feet, or it wasn't so risky. And so what happened is that, a lot of relationships were developed between the JCF and so on, and communities, between all our partners. And then the other component that we did, Dervan, was that through NGOs. Now, again, remember, NGOs also work with very vulnerable groups. Right. So NGOs were also able to...
NGOs, of course, non-government organizations.
Right.
Yes.
That, do a lot of really, really important work on the ground here in Jamaica.
Yes.
Again, because we have this really efficient mechanism set up in terms of the food packages, we had a warehouse provided in kind by Derek Cotterell at Sampas. We had the JDF manning the whole logistics of the relief in the warehouse. We had lots of in-kind coming from lots of private sector companies in terms of flour, and National gave lots of crackers and rice and all these sorts of things. We could actually produce the food packages at a really efficient costing. And so what we were able to do is provide to NGOs that applied for support for their populations, for their beneficiaries. We could also include them in the program. So they too would get the food packages, and they would come and collect them from the warehouse every other Friday, and again every 2 weeks for their population. So we were able to hit reach people living with disability, people living with HIV, again, lots of children, lots of elderly, so very specific target groups we were able to reach through the NGOs. So it was sort of those two were the main approaches for how we got the relief out there.
That's a lot of work. I got tired just listening. No.
Yes, and it was an exciting time, Dervan, because I think if you remember how we all felt at that time, we felt so impotent, right? We felt like we have no control over
Yes.
everything.
What
We're
is
just sitting
this?
and
When will
waiting.
it end? What are we going to do?
Right.
How are we going to manage? Yes.
And so what this project allowed was it allowed for those of us involved to feel like we had a little sense of controlling our own destiny and being part of, well, until we know what's going on, we can still do something.
Yeah.
We saw the risk. And so I think this is why so many people got on board so quickly, so many companies, because there was nothing else that we could do at the time. I don't know if we've ever faced anything like that. But what is clear is that if we do ever, knock wood, face something like that again, is that clearly there is this national response, public-private social sector that will immediately jump to respond. And I think that was really something that was really demonstrated in this intervention and in these efforts. And it went on for 8 months. I mean, we really carried it on till December. We rolled out food kitchens. Later on, through the Jamaica Council of Churches, we partnered with them to get food kitchens out to some really vulnerable individuals. We partnered with Nova Med, who Dr. David Walcott, who brought in masks, and were able to donate them to CVSS so that we could add masks and PPE gear to the packages. So there were all these different facets. We partnered with Diabetes Association of Jamaica as well, who there was a lot of concern about people, as you know, with diabetics who have comorbidities, not coming to the clinics to do their regular checks and get their regular medication. And so DAJ wanted to get into the communities to provide the tests. And so we were able to support them to do that during the time as well. So there were a number of areas that we really looked to support. But at the end of the day, it really was about this efficient mechanism. We reported every Thursday via CVM on the amount of funds raised, the amount of packages delivered, the amount of volunteer hours, all those kinds of metrics we reported on a weekly basis in the sort of national media. And again, we've done a sort of end of program report. We did a PricewaterhouseCoopers came on as a donor. They gave to the fund, but then they also did a sort of financial review of the project, and we have full financial statements of the project that are open. If you go on the CVSS website, the report is there. So you can see all the money that came in, exactly how it was used, and exactly how and when the fund was closed.
Like I said, it's a lot of work, and the award is very well deserved. Congratulations to you and the team. Just one more before we let you go. We're going to take the break and come back. Just wanted to get a sense of your regular operations, your regular duties, and not necessarily you personally, but the organization CVSS. Outside of what you have shared with us already, what you had to do, how does the organization operate regularly? One moment, please.
With a gears as blank.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:45.
Your taxes hold the key.
Nobody come in line. Pay your taxes online. So many options. You choose. Pay online at jamaicatax.gov.jm, TAJ mobile app, direct funds transfer, and NCB online banking. It's safe, convenient, and secure. Tax Administration Jamaica, changing the way we do business.
Who says an excellent medical education has to be expensive?
The Caribbean School of Medical Sciences Jamaica offers quality medical training through our affordable pre-med and MD programs. Our aim is to develop a quality workforce of professionals. We offer excellent facilities, experienced lecturers, and hands-on learning. Plus, scholarships are now available. Secure the career of your dreams by applying today. Visit our office on 15 Braemar Avenue, Kingston 10, or send us an email at info@csmsj.edu.jm.
Under the Law is now in its 48th year and still helping you to know your rights and how the laws of Jamaica can help you defend those rights. The program is brought to you on Mondays by the Bank of Jamaica, building an inclusive economy. Under the Law at 6:45 and 8:45 a.m. and at 4 and 9:25 p.m. Mondays on Power 106 FM.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm. We've been celebrating the work of the Council of Voluntary Social Services, CVSS, the award-winning CVSS. They copped the RGR Gleaner Communications Group Honor Award for its remarkable work in effectively coordinating and executing the private sector organization of Jamaica, PSOJ, COVID-19 Relief Fund. Safri Brown, it chairs the Council of Voluntary Social Services, CVSS, and she has been giving us chapter, verse, and then some. So we're getting a full picture. But as we wrap, Safri Brown, how does CVSS normally function?
Okay, so CVSS is a really wonderful organization. We just turned 80. We were founded in 1940, and we were really founded out of the kind of social welfare movement of the late 1930s. And so we are an umbrella organization for the voluntary and nonprofit sector, or NGO sector. So we really look at how we can support with the development of the social sector, how we can support civil society organizations. And so we do a lot of work around capacity building, opportunities for knowledge sharing, collaboration. We do a lot of work around promoting volunteerism. So we actually are headquartered on Camp Road at the National Volunteer Center, which is the home of CVSS. And we, for example, some of our programs, we have a training and capacity building program called Skills on the Go, which is open to our member organizations. We have 120 member organizations who are able to access our training. And really, we do work with them around access to funding and proposal writing and organizational development. And strategic planning and monitoring and all sorts of things to really help them grow their capacity. We do a lot of work around volunteer matching, volunteer recognition, and we do work in research. So we're about to start a sort of research program looking at the effects of COVID on civil society and on the civil society sector. So, and again, from that would come these sort of recommendations and findings and recommendations about how we would help to create more resilience if a future pandemic were to hit, how we would ensure that civil society itself wasn't so vulnerable and at risk in terms of their own ability to deliver their work. We are volunteer-led, so our board is obviously volunteer-led. We have a small secretariat that operates out of the National Volunteer Center. Our president is Butch Hendrickson, who is an extraordinary president.
He is.
Really, been extremely supportive of CVSS and the work that we've been doing. And we have a really strong and effective board of directors. If anybody wants to find out any more about CVSS, we have a website, cvssja.org. Gives you a lot of information about who we are, what we do, and the kind of programming and work that we're involved in.
And for those who would like to contribute to the work of CVSS, those listening to us at home and abroad, what are their options?
So I think, I would recommend that they email us, info@cvssja.org. We are actually about to start a partnership with American Friends of Jamaica so that we will be able to accept credit card donations. But in the interim, if they just send us an email and let us know. And again, in terms of full transparency, because one of the value systems of CVSS is that we believe we have to be really transparent and open, is that all our annual reports for the last 5 years on the website, so people can go, they can look at our annual reports, our financials, and see, the efficiency of the organization and how we operate.
Well done. We won't take up any more of your time this afternoon, Safri Brown, but congratulations to you and the CVSS team once again on winning this very special award from the RGR Gleaner Communications Group for your remarkable work in effectively coordinating and executing the PSOJ COVID-19 Relief Fund. Well done.
Thank you so much, Dervan, and have a good weekend.
You too. Take care. Bye-bye. Safri Brown, Chair of the Council of Voluntary Social Services, CVSS, winners of the RGR Gleaner Communications Group Award in the category of voluntary service. Well done. Well done. Let's continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Good afternoon. Well, Sophia Nemad says thank you, in reference to the greetings, the congratulatory greetings we conveyed to her daughter, who will be going to Hampton on account of PEP. All the best. Inez Campbell Brown in Bridgeport, Connecticut. How are things? Hope you're well. All the best. Thank you very much. Anne Marie in New Jersey. Good to see you. Good to see you online. It's been a while. Always, always good to see you. Thank you very much for joining us. Rose McIntosh in London says, well done. I'm sure that's meant for CVSS, Safri Brown and the team. Kevin Dunk says, therein lies the flaw in Jamaica land ownership, hand-me-down land from the British. Yes, that is a fact, Kevin Dunk. But the British gave up, in a manner of speaking, gave up Jamaica in 1960. And then, Kevin Dunk, what have our own people who have been in leadership positions since 1962 been doing with respect to land ownership in Jamaica? Now, that's where we need to go, Kevin Dunk. Thank you very much for your message. All the very best. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. To go back to that story that we cited in our conversation with Safri Brown of CVSS, that Capri study, and boy, Capri is getting some serious funding to conduct these studies. We need more studies, more research, so we can better understand how things happen, why they don't happen, when they happen, who is impacted, etc. This is good. But here's the thing now. The recommendations from the Capri study. 1, use those with knowledge of the community. Use those with knowledge of the community. And these are recommendations to improve the throughput. Oh, I love that word. One of my favorites. I have a few. Right. So these are recommendations to enhance the throughput in terms of the impact of these intervention programs on the most vulnerable. Now, here are the recommendations. 1, use those with knowledge of the community, coordinated by the Social Development Commission, SDC, to improve targeting of relief for the poor. 2, simplify the information communicated in both content and format for specific target audiences. 3, use town criers with properly timed and clear messages, since this mode is already widely used in rural areas to communicate upcoming events. 4, use the community development committees, CDCs, youth clubs, and senior citizens. And senior citizens clubs, which exist in many communities and are known to the SDC, to take information to the community level. Small grants can be provided, as these tasks take time, effort, and transportation. Proper documentation must be a condition. 5, provide a safe and reliable corridor for community shops to remain stocked with supply and provisions. 6, encourage financial inclusion among PATH beneficiaries to facilitate emergency welfare payments. 7, establish and maintain a national registry of the disabled in poor communities. And 8, expand the cadre of social workers going into communities to monitor children's safety and well-being. Now, Capri, we didn't get any money at all to do any research. But we can tell you, Capri, one thing that could effectively fix that problem. All those recommendations you have given us, Capri, here's one recommendation: a national identification system. A national identification system. There's your solution. A national identification system. We have to register births, don't we? Yes. So straight off the bat, at birth, straight into the national ID, national identification system. This child was born with particular peculiarities. So, and this one and that one. So these children, we know where they are. We know if we need to find them, where they are. They are, we have to ensure that they're taken care of. And we know where the senior citizens are. So in other words, just as how, well, we don't need to complicate it. National identification system. So you can find everybody. You have birth date, so you know the aging as these people, the system knows that these people are aging. The system will know when they get to 60 or 65. The system will know when it's time for school, when these children would have gotten to school age, etc. And what are the resources of the state that are available, and how will these resources be allocated, and we would now be in a better position to say, here is the evidence of how resources were channeled, and you can trace the resources to the individuals who benefited. And if you have to do an audit, you go and do your audit to confirm whatever needs to be confirmed. A national identification system. How on God's earth are we going to be able to help people if we don't first of all know that they exist? We have to first of all know that they exist. Under what conditions do they exist? What are the peculiarities of these individuals that we need to be mindful of? We cannot effectively help people and effectively and judiciously and in a prudent manner manage the limited resources that we have if we can't give an account of where the money is going, who gets what, when, how, etc. If we don't know who our people are, how are we going to serve them? If we don't know where our people are, how are we going to reach them? A national identification system. There's your solution. More in a moment.
At Wellington Dental, they offer cleaning, filling, whitening, and other services for the entire family. The time by Wellington Dental is
4 o'clock.
Hey, you see, these days, it's good to get straight to the point. Quick and easy. That's why Western Union gives you another way to receive money straight to your bank account with Western Union's direct-to-bank money transfer. Visit a Western Union agent location and sign up now. And tell your family and friends to send your next Western Union money transfer directly to your bank account in Jamaica. It's easy. Visit a Western Union location or call our call center at 876-926-2454. Sign up today to receive a money transfer directly to your bank account with ease. With Western Union, moving money for better.
What is this broad beast? It's our home at last. Searching toward Bethlehem to be born. Searching toward Bethlehem to be born.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 4:01. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4:01. 现在几点了？4点01分. A minute past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you had a checkup lately? If not, now is a good time. Let's not wait till we get sick to get a checkup. How about that? Checking in with more on your program, both sides of the story. Let's go to the text line, same as the WhatsApp number. 876-365-3346. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
We're saying something about land distribution.
Yes.
We're saying something about knowing who the people are.
I'm sorry. Is it possible to get a little closer to the phone? You
Can
sound.
you hear me better now?
We're hearing more of your environment, the ambience. We're picking up your environment, a sort of a hollow sound, which is to suggest that the device is no.
I don't. Yeah. Can you call me back? I don't understand what.
All right, let's see if we can call you back. No problem. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world, taking your calls on 876 922 4112, 876 922 4113, 876 922 4114, and 876 922 4115. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876 365 3346. Working behind the scenes to call back that listener. In the meantime, let's clear a couple of messages. Errol in Spanish Town says, "Hi, Dervan. Good day. Do you think the PNP can recover to be a viable position, or do you mean opposition? So much infighting. It seems like every week they have a fight. Looks like Mr. Golding can't manage." Errol, we have seen this so many times that right now, as the children would say, I don't know if they still say it, boring. Yeah, we have seen it so many times, and we have talked about this from one political party to the other over the years. We have talked about it, that neither what we have said over the years, you cannot hope to represent the majority of the people in this country in terms of government, or to be considered as a viable alternative if your house is in a mess. As my late mother would say, you have to dance a yard before you dance abroad. So you have to clean up your house. You have to tidy up your house. You have to get your house in order. A house divided, as we know, cannot stand and will not stand. And the people will not stand for that. And as much as some people like to curse our voters when they don't vote in our favor, and we call them stupid and idiot and dunce and everything else, without recognizing that the people were actually exercising wisdom. On what basis would they elect a divided party to govern a country? Surely, the only thing that such an organization could do is to teach us about nothing but division, just perpetuate division. And people are not stupid. The electorate is not a bunch of stupid people, as some people like to claim. Our people are not stupid. Our people are smart enough to recognize when a political party, because as I said, we have seen this so many times over the years. We have seen it so many times that we lack, it seems, over the years, it seems we have lacked the maturity of leadership to be able to manage a transition within a political party. We have failed miserably in managing the transition from one party leader to another. There always seems there's always some animosity, which means you would not have been a united front in the first stage. You would have just put up a face card. And we have to get out of this quagmire. We can't continue like this. I've always said, look, I don't have what I love about children is, for the most part, until we as adults corrupt them or cause them to become corrupt, is their innocence. Their innocence. So they will speak the truth according to their own eyes and experience, what they would have experienced. They will just speak it, and it might be an uncomfortable truth. How many times have parents and guardians and families gathered and the child or children just blurt out something, and people feel like they would rather the earth open up and take them in at that moment? The innocence of children. But the thing is, with adults, we tend to behave more like children as adults. We tend to be, I expect a greater level of maturity from adults. My thing always is, we are big people, especially when it comes on to relationships. We can, as big people, don't bother with the Jim Screechy and the go around the corner and pretend. Don't bother with that. Just come straight. We're big people. Big people must be able to reason. What is the basis on which we're going to enter into this relationship? Well, you want to see, just a little thing, not really long-term thing, just is that okay with the other person? Is the other person mature, mature enough to say, yeah, all right, we could do that now? And then you go your separate ways. There's nothing wrong with that. You do whatever you do safely and you go your separate ways. But this thing about trying to, what they say, to put on a show. Big people why can't we be honest with each other? Why is that so hard? To just be honest and upfront. Just be honest and upfront. That's the best. I don't know any other way. I really don't. That's how I was brought up. Honest and upfront. This is the situation. You better go around any corner. Leave that to the children, man. To take you into to be circuitous, to go round and round. I leave that to the children. Let's leave that to the children. As big people, we should be able to reason, to think, to organize without mashing up the house. You can clean up the house and tidy up the house and make changes within the house. You should be able to do that without mashing up the house. So here we are again. These are comments we have expressed from one internal political party squabble to another, from one party to another over the years, and it keeps happening. It keeps happening over and over and over again. And then when people vote, being mindful of the disunity and the disorganization that is happening, we have some people come and say the electorate are fool, them not know nothing and are just X% vote. Then what you expect? We already agree on the rules of the game. Somebody will win, or an organization will win, and an organization will lose. That's how it is. It's a first past the post system. That's the system we have in Jamaica. If 3/4 or half of the population who support a particular political party, which is in turmoil, make the decision not to go out to vote, whose problem is that? Whose fault is that? They decide they're not going out to vote because they're first of all not going to vote for the other party. But at this time, they're not prepared to vote for the party that they normally support, because they can see clearly that their party is divided. And so the people who decide to exercise their franchise and go out to vote, who we like to call stupid, some people like to call them stupid and dunce and idiots and so on. The people are smarter than those of us who are saying those things about them. Whatever we think about Jamaican people and how we are and who we are, we're not stupid people. We know when something is not working out. We know when there's a problem. And we're not prepared to support that kind of disunity. And so you have a set of people who decide they're not voting, and they don't go out and vote. And you have those who go out and exercise their franchise, and then people have all kinds of things to say about the numbers. Whose fault is that? That's the system we have. It's the first past the post system. It doesn't matter if you win by 1 vote or 1 seat or 20 seats. I don't know. I have a feeling we're going to come back to this place again at some point. But that's, how did we get there? Somebody asked the question. That was from a WhatsApp. We need to grow up. The country will be 60 years old next year. We need to grow up. Those of us, some things are not for everybody. Let's just call it how it is. Marriage is not for everybody. The pastors and so on will tell us, wonderful, etc. And those of us who are in the institution of marriage, who are able to manage, fine. But marriage is not for everybody. Politics is not for everybody either. Business is not for everybody. We must know ourselves. We must be true to ourselves. And if it's not working out, it is fine. It is normal for things not to work out. If it's not working out, let us respectfully go our separate ways. But this kind of, anyway, one moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:15. Power Talk has been a unique source of discourse on matters of public interest, finding solutions to the challenges we face in a globalized world. And starting Monday, July 19, Power Talk brings you the duo that will take talk radio to another level. Join Dr. Herbert Gale and Simon Crosskill weekdays 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. as they provide riveting analysis on the issues of the day and speak with stakeholders charged with driving innovation to move Jamaica forward. Tune in for brand new features designed to showcase local developments and highlight how the global issues of the 21st century are being addressed. That's the powerful duo, Dr. Herbert Gale and Simon Crosskill on Power Talk, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. weekdays starting Monday, July 19, right here on Power 106 FM.
Falcon cannot hear, Falcon things fall apart. The center cannot hold, and a blood-dim tide is loosed upon the world. Nothing is sacred. The ceremony sinks. Innocence is drowned in anarchy. The best black conviction, given some time to think. And the worst are full of passion without mercy. Surely some revelation is at hand. Surely it's a second coming and the wrath has finally taken form. For what is this wild beast? Its hour come at last. Surging towards let the damned to be born. Surging towards let the damned to be born.
Que ahora es en español. Son las 4:18. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4:18. Hiện tại, Ti Dien Le, Si Dien Shi Ba Fen. 18 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you done your homework yet? Oh, yes, young people, we know it's a Friday. We know it's also your summer break, although some of you still have to go to summer school. That's fine. You know what we always say? Even when school is out, homework is always in, because homework is about preparation, and proper preparation prevents poor performance. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. We trust you had a productive day of learning today, young people. We hope you also managed to get in some physical activity, just as important as mental activity. As we always say, young people, socialization makes you educable. Education makes you trainable. Training makes you employable. And the right attitude makes you successful. Homework time, young people. And those of you sitting CSEC and CAPE exams, we hope you get the results that you work for. Nothing more, nothing less. And as we've been telling you, young people doing CSEC and CAPE, those who have been doing these subjects between last year and this year, you are super special students. You have done remarkably well, and you are going to do even better in life going forward. We guarantee you that. With the kind of attitude you have demonstrated in this time of COVID-19, and to have gotten this far, to be sitting your CSEC and CAPE exams, more power to you, young people. Well done. Well done. Let's continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. As we always say, socialization makes you educable, education makes you trainable, training makes you employable, and the right attitude makes you successful. Homework time, young people. And as we always like to say as well, ever so often, education is your passport. Education is your visa. Education is your plane ticket. It will take you everywhere. And I mean everywhere, literally and figuratively, everywhere. Let's continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Robledo Black Pearl Michelle says, happy Friday, esteemed teacher. God bless you and everyone in the Both Sides family. Thank you very much, Robledo Black Pearl Michelle, for your kind sentiments. And here's another message. Patriotic Jamaican in New York says, one of the things I admire about you, Mr. Malcolm, is your straightforwardness and honesty. Again, it was demonstrated when your caller related a story about criminals disarming a police officer in Brooklyn. He expected you to skin up with him about it, but instead you let him know in no uncertain terms that that was not funny. That's one of the things that separates you from most other Jamaican talk show hosts who, in their hunger for popularity, would not have the courage and integrity to let him know it was wrong. Thank you, sir. Humbled by your comments, patriotic Jamaican in New York. All the very best. H. Morgan in Birmingham says, Mr. Malcolm, you truly have a good sense of tolerance. Your caller, who was talking about Africa, and when God returns, he's coming for Rasta, not baldhead. My question to him is, what if God had returned when he was a child, say up to 6 years old? Then he would be a castaway because he was a bald head then. He also mentioned that he went to a prominent school. Was he a bald head at that time? It's a good thing God did not return at that time. Otherwise, I wonder what would happen to him then. I know as a host, you have to give people a chance to voice their opinion, but sometimes some people say some things. It makes you think and scratch your head in disbelief. You don't have to, but you are obliged to give them a listening ear, says H. Morgan in Birmingham. Thank you, H. Morgan in Birmingham, for your message. Thank you. And the listener who called us earlier on, we tried calling you back on the same number. Let's just confirm this. We tried calling you back, and somebody answers to say it's the wrong number. What's happening there? Let's take a look at this number again. Let's see. Let's match it with what we have here. There's some mix-up here. Glenn, assuming it is Glenn, because that's the name we have in our WhatsApp, in our contacts. That's what we have, Glenn, but something else. Let's see. Unless you had another number that you used to use to communicate with us, and then you got a new phone or a new number or both. So let's see if we can figure this out. So let's try again. So let's go back to Glenn's contact. Yeah, this is the contact, and we copied. Yes. And then we pasted so that the program assistant could see the number that he would have to dial. Not sure what happened there. And sometimes these devices, depending on how you touch them and where you touch them and when you touch them, they take you to places you didn't intend to go. Not sure if that's what happened this time around, but we'll try to get you back on the line, Glenn. In the meantime, let's continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. Here are some questions doing the rounds. I beg your pardon, some stories doing the rounds. Majority of PEP students placed at preferred schools. This is on the Gleaners online platform. The Ministry of Education has indicated that the majority of primary exit profile PEP students were placed in a secondary school of their choice. PEP results were released today. Here are some highlights from today's presentation from the Education Ministry. Let's look at the scores. The computation of the placement score for 2021 comprises 5 tests. 1, grade 4 literacy. 2, grade 4 numeracy. 3, grade 4 PEP performance task, mathematics. 4, grade 4 PEP performance task, language arts. And 5, grade 6 ability test. Similar to the Grade 6 Achievement Test, GSAT, the Primary Exit Profile, PEP, uses the total placement score for ranking and placing students based on a weighted formula of standardized test scores. So if you achieve certain test scores, how they're weighted, that will determine your placement, basically. After using several statistical models to test multiple scenarios, the most equitable weighting that determined the placement of students in 2021 provides an equivalent ratio contribution by grade level as follows. Grade 4, 20%. Grade 6, 80%. For this year, 2021, a total of 37,278 students were registered to sit the PEP ability test. 37,139 of those students sat the ability test, as there were 139 registered students who were absent. Of the total number registered to sit, 4,420 were from independent schools or sat as private candidates. The other 32,858 were registered in public schools. 31,479 students were placed in one of their preferred schools. That's a percentage of 84.44. Since 2015, parents have been given the opportunity to indicate 2 additional school choices to the standard 5 that they had in the past. These 2 additional choices were selected from a cluster of schools that were within a 10-mile radius of their attending schools, as in their primary school. 4,315 of those students were placed in secondary level schools that are in proximity to the schools they currently attend. That was 11. Those students made up 11.58% of the overall numbers. So 84.44%, the ministry is telling us, got one of their preferred schools. 11.58% were placed in a school, a secondary level school near their primary school. Let's go to the break and come back with more on both sides of the story.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:30.
One in. A hurricane we name. And we rough. Whether we are man hurricane or woman hurricane. We want you know that. We come here for mash up building, blow down things and take life. Flood out place. We no ramp. We no respect no one. So no take no chance with we. Listen to Adprem and prepare. Hurricanes do happen, so be prepared. Yes, be prepared.
A message from the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management.
You asked, we listened. You said you wanted back the additional hour. Dear Pastor returns to its usual time from 10 p.m. until midnight.
Oh boy, you know.
Your thoughts on topical issues, relationship matters, questions you want answered, pertinent advice. It all comes together on Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron Dumas.
Hello.
Hello, Pastor.
Yes.
Can I ask you a question?
Well, you may ask me a question, I may or may not answer.
He returns to keep your company from 10 p.m. until midnight, right here on Power 106 FM.
Slow ginger word, down to the bone. To be born. Hoping, 'cause if by my weak faith
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 5 menos 28. Quelle heure est-il en français? Il est 5 heures moins 28. 现在几点了？5点28分. 28 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Do you know where your children are? Are they where they're supposed to be? Doing what they're supposed to be doing? It's a good time to check up on the children. A good time for us to continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story. Power 106 FM. I seem to recall over the years, usually around this time, as in when results are out, we would be flooded with calls from parents, guardians, siblings, congratulating their family members on being placed at a school of their choice. We only got one such message this afternoon. I'm shocked. And that was the message from, who was that from again? Who was that? Her daughter will be going to Hampton. The name escapes me at the moment. I don't remember who that was. But that's the only such message we have received this afternoon. An afternoon when PEP results have been made public. Sorry, let's go to the phone lines. The gentleman has been waiting long enough. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for your patience. How are you?
Good afternoon. There's a book in the Bible called the Book of Numbers. Do you know why it is called the Book of Numbers?
Why?
Because they did 2 censuses. While the Israelites were moving out of Egypt on the way to the Promised Land, there are 2 censuses on the way. And as a result of that census, if you read chapter 26, about verse 52 and 53, the reason was that the land that we're going into was to be divided according to the number of names. And large inheritances were to be given to the more, and small inheritance to be given to the few. In other words, the land was to be shared according to the results of the census.
Got you.
Right. So, and by the way, when you read about, you go back further back to Abraham. Abraham was told to leave his country in Ur of the Chaldees and go to a land which God would show him. And God promised to make of him a great nation. And promised also that in thee and thy seed shall all the families of the earth be blessed. So Israel was to be a sort of model nation. You notice where it is located, right at the crossroads between Europe, Asia, and Africa. It was to be a model nation. So by following some of those principles laid down in the Old Testament, the world would have been better if they had been followed. So the census that you're talking about, that I mentioned, was a means by which the land was to be divided. It was to be by equitable distribution. One tribe, the Levites, were not to be given any land. They were just given some house plots and so on, but not a large amount of agricultural land. But God still provided for them by the other tribes paying 1/10 of their earnings. So 1/12 of the tribes was given 1/12 of the tribes was given 1/10 as their salary. So there was equity there also. And knowing where the families were would have to take care of various other problems. Another problem that we have in Jamaica is the problem of prisoners. Would you know that under Moses' system, imprisonment was not there as a punishment? You steal, you pay back so many times what you stole. You can murder, you are executed. You hit a man so that he could not work, and the punishment was this: you shall cause a man to be thoroughly healed and pay for the loss of his time. In other words, you would take care of the medical expenses and pay for the man's loss of salary during the time he was incapacitated. Those are just a few. So I believe that when Jamaica people say, what is the church doing about such and such a problem? They really have an idea, a good idea that the church has a solution. And I'm saying that many of those solutions are found in the Bible. But we need to read the Bible. Let me go on to another thing. Some people are criticizing Miss Mervis. Now, in one criticism, they say that they use Hebrews chapter 1 to say that there will be no prophets after Jesus. Hebrews 1 verse 1 goes something like this. God, who at sundry times and in divers manners spake unto the fathers by the prophets, has now spoken unto us by his Son. Now, they have used that to say that there will be no prophets after Jesus. That is just not true. Agabus was a prophet in the New Testament, and Philip's 4 daughters prophesied. And the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 12 gives a list of different gifts that God gives to people. Some are apostles, some are teachers, some are prophets, some are helps, some do healing, some speak in tongues. The different gifts are there. So God's people are still able to speak to God and get messages from God for the benefit of their communities. I'm going to stop at that for now. I hope you got something from what I said.
Yes, indeed. We thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us this afternoon. Well done.
Okay, all the best.
Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story. Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, 876-922-4114, and 876-922-4115. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346, 876-365-3346. We haven't forgotten you, Dr. Sharon Wiles. We're supposed to get an update from you. Stand by. Let's see if we can connect before we have to wrap today's edition of Both Sides of the Story here on Power 106 FM. Absolutely, says Devon Lewis. Not sure what's the basis of that comment, but absolutely, says Devon Lewis. Thank you very much for your message. Taki Lemqua says, bless up on the downside of the afternoon, Dervan, and all on board. Greetings of positive vibes always. Respect. Respect to you too, Taki Lemqua. Guardian Angel says, hello, Malcolm. Peace be upon you. I ponder the potential path of the power I have grown to admire. Both sides, I'll stay with you on condition. I'll say no more. Well, we thank you very much for your vote of confidence and for making your position quite clear on Power 106 FM and its programming. Thank you for your message, Guardian Angel. Let's go now to Dr. Sharon Wiles, who called us yesterday, and I dare say she essentially broke that story with respect to the fishermen and crew on that vessel, 15 of them, and we got news as well of 5 who would have perished. Sadly, condolences to their family members, friends, colleagues, neighbors. And one of those, I mean, it's very, 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 very sad all around. As we always say on this program, the loss of any life is to be regretted. And Dr. Sharon Wiles, good afternoon. Good afternoon to you. We know this one hits home and hits hard in more ways than one.
Good evening.
Hi, Dr. Wiles. Thank you so much.
Good evening, Mr. Malcolm. Oh, I tell you, it's hard. And last night we went to bed celebrating. This morning, woke up crying.
Yes.
I tell you.
We want to hear you a little clearer. Is there anything you can do on your
Yes.
end?
Can you hear me a little? I'm sorry, I had to run in my car.
Oh,
I was in the town.
understood. Yes, that's better. That's better.
Yes.
Mhm. So, what's the information that you have since the last time we spoke? What additional information do you have?
Well, yeah, unfortunately, of course, they did find the additional 4 fishermen. However, they were still on the boat because the captain of the boat was put on the rescue boat. However, the boat sank and they ended up sinking with the boat.
Uh-oh.
The captain, who was saved from the ship, was under the other 10 guys. Unfortunately, because he's diabetic and he had not taken his medication for the past week and a half and being out there not eating and so forth, he died on the ship, on the rescue boat. And because of that, they had to push him overboard
Oh no.
because of his weight, and he was heading down the boat, which was already, the boat was already too small to be carrying 11.
Oh dear.
And I was told that they have a rescue helicopter flying over the area, trying to see if they could find like his body, but I kind of doubt that because that's a shark-infested water, I must say.
Mm-mm.
From my experience being there last week, I know it's a shark-infested water. So, unfortunately, when they called me this morning, the family members were crying, and it was a painful, sad atmosphere hovering over Roatan today.
Yes. And how much do we know about the fisher folk who were on the boat? All right, one moment, please. Let's just take this break and come back. Listeners, we're speaking with a missionary, a minister of the gospel, a communications consultant, actress, a Jamaican, a philanthropist, and there are so many other titles we could accord to her because of the body of work she has been doing over the years and continues to do. She has been sharing the story of the vessel that we talked about yesterday. Well, let's take the break and come back.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:45.
Oh yeah, this pasta made in Jamaica. Porridge, oats, oatmeal, cornmeal with banana.
Yo, proud of we culture, yes, we love pasta. Only for protein, good source of fiber.
Love my family, me love my pasta. I feel we pasta, I feel we pasta. Love we pasta, I feel we pasta.
We have to prosper with our pasta. Good for the sugar level and the blood pressure.
Made in Jamaica, we love with pasta.
Under the Law is now in its 48th year and still helping you to know your rights and how the laws of Jamaica can help you defend those rights. The program is brought to you on Mondays by the Bank of Jamaica, building an inclusive economy. Under the Law at 6:45 and 8:45 a.m. and at 4 and 9:25 p.m. Mondays on Power 106 FM.
Indignant, real Falcons.
Que hora es en espagnol? Son las 5:14. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 5:14. 现在几点了？5点加14分. 14 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Good afternoon to all working Jamaicans tuned in to both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. It's a good time for us to ask ourselves, how productive have we been today? How productive have we been today? Let's continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, here on Power 106 FM. The story of the fishermen, the Honduran fishermen who went missing. 10 of them have been found alive. 15, I beg your pardon, five did not make it. Online, we have Dr. Sharon Wiles. She is a minister of the gospel, doctor of divinity, a missionary in her own right, a philanthropist, a communication specialist, a marketer as well, a singer, and we could go on. And she has been sharing, because as part of her work, she has spent a lot of time over the years in Honduras, in and out Honduras, of course, from Florida, other countries in the region, not least of all her home country of Jamaica. And going to the break, Dr. Wiles, we were trying to get a sense of what you've been, whatever new information you have been able to glean from all the sources that you would have had in Honduras.
Yes, Mr. Dervan. One thing I know of a fact is that they have arrived at the Dr. Wood Hospital in Coxon Hall, that's in Rawton, Honduras, and all 10 fishermen are there, and they're getting treatment. I was trying to get an interview, hopefully, to speak with one of them, being that I know some of the family members of these fishermen, which I will eventually, but right now the doctors are asking to just give them some time to get them back, because they're very weak, not eating for so long and dehydrated and so forth. My friend was able to speak with the owner of the boat earlier, so he was able to share in more detail what took place and how those 4 went down with the boat, because the captain was off. There was nothing they could do. The boat is overloaded. And so they went on, unfortunately. Apparently they were sleeping too when everything happened down in the boat. You know how these boats are.
Yes.
And it's really a sad day, because, we were all excited celebrating with the family last night before, we went to bed. And this morning to wake up to this sad news, it's really heartrending.
Yes, indeed. And you were telling me, I think you messaged me to indicate that there was one in particular. There's some connection there.
Yes, I actually know, because I've been going to Honduras for 10 years, so I know a lot of people in Honduras. They know me, I know them. So the person that I called, when she told me who they were, then I realized, oh my goodness, because they're from different areas over there. They're from Coxon Hall, French Harbor, The Bight, Oak Ridge, La Ceiba, and all these villages are villages that I go. I just left all of those villages. So I'm aware of the area. I know the people, they know me. So when it hit home like that, you know that it's somebody. And the thing that hit home for me was that my brother, years ago, was a captain on one of those same fishing boats right there in Honduras. When I docked over there 2 weeks ago, most of those guys used to work for my brother. So when I heard about the incident here, that's why I jumped on it. Also, not because I'm also a radio host myself. I thought it was my responsibility, knowing that I have that inside information, to get that information to share with persons like yourself and other journalists.
Yes. But the circumstances notwithstanding, we thank you for sharing the information with us here on both sides of the story. Power 106 FM, we join you in conveying condolences, and we convey condolences to you and all those connected to those fisher folk who are no longer with us, even as we celebrate the survival of those who are still with us.
Could have been worse. Could have been all 15.
Yes, indeed.
So we have 10. So we still have to give God thanks. And,
for sure.
Just reflecting on being on two of the boats 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
It really hit home for me today when I heard the sad news.
Yes. Well, we want to wish you all the best and thank you for the work that you continue to do. You're in Jamaica. I'm sure you're not here to vacation. Chances are you have brought along with you some gifts or some other items for some needy person.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Always.
Well, thank you so much. Continue to be safe and all the best.
Thank you so much, Dervan. Always a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Take care. Bye.
Shaped like a lion.
The lips of the righteous teaches many, but fools die for want of wisdom. The rich man's wealth is in.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Hello to Paul in Philadelphia. Thank you very much for joining us, Paul. All the very best to you. On YouTube, Taki Lemkwa has a lot to say. Where do we begin? He says, bless up. Well, we read that already. Let's go down the line. There are so many areas as pertain fish farming close to the city, many unexplored regions. However, focusing on Ferry River and Duhenny River waterways, aren't that these areas hold great prospects for that? The brackish Duhenny River per mangrove regions for sea fish, while the freshwater of Ferry for fish adaptable to such. Hope more will be revealed regarding the missing 5 of the other fishermen re Honduras. Thank you for your messages, Taki Lemkwa. Where's Taki Lemkwa again? I think it's New Jersey. Rose McIntosh in London says, what a story. Condolences to all the families involved. All being well, Sir Dervan, for the Diaspora Live online tomorrow. All right, Rose McIntosh, see you then. And Taki Lemko says, my condolences to the families of those who didn't make it. That's the sad story. It's sad for some and a relief for others in more ways than one. So it is. So it is. So it is. And just before we wrap, we were sharing with you some of the stories, some of the trending stories. I mean, it's almost news time, so you're going to hear the news anyway. But we had started sharing some of it. One that just popped up relatively recently. 3 years for man convicted of multiple child sex charges. This is the man who was convicted of multiple child sex charges. The 15-year-old victim is pregnant with twins, and the 37-year-old man is believed to be the father. The story says his name is being withheld to protect the identity of the victim. In other words, if his name is publicized, then everybody will know who the victim is. What a mess. But also, well, if you missed it, well, you would have heard us commenting on it. The continued problems in the People's National Party of resignations on top of resignations. Well, we have dealt with that already. Can we thank you once again for the privilege of serving you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, for today, Friday, the 16th of July, 2021. The moving finger writes, and having writ moves on, nor all your piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all your tears wash out a word of it. All things being well, Both Sides of the Story returns Monday afternoon, 2 to 5. Till then, this is Dervan Malcolm, and inviting you to join us in the morning, if you care so to do. If you couldn't care less, if you would rather stay in bed later tomorrow morning, well, forget the Jamaican Diaspora Live Online tomorrow morning from 6 to 9. Enjoy your rest, and we will do the rest. How about that? Take care. All the best. Have a peaceful and safe weekend.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
5 o'clock.
News, comprehensive, powerful, and credible.
Power 106 FM now presents a simulcast of Radio Jamaica's news at 5.